YouTube. One day I'll have all of this figured out, but until then, I'm still clicking all the buttons in multiple tabs and figuring it all out. So, okay, looks like I'm live on Facebook. That's going good. And now I'm live on YouTube. That's looking good. Welcome. Hello. Welcome to Porter Coaching Studio. My name is Chris Porter. I'm an ADHD coach. I like to have something in my hand, and I help people find their focus and flow through a group coaching program that I'm launching soon that is almost ready, but not quite. So I'm doing 30 days of going live. Welcome to day 6 of going live. And if I happen to miss a day, then I have to eat this chicken and rice dog food from Kirkland. So that's my corgi. Please be quiet. He may or may not listen. That's okay. My baby is asleep in the room right next to me, so I'm probably talking quieter than I usually do because I get all excited when I'm on these, but I'm trying to not wake her up. So if I hear this, I will probably be stopping this and going to take care of her, and I'll start again. So the beauty of going live, right? So yeah, I was just saying I've got this Focus Habits group coaching program that I'm putting together, 30 days live, or I have to eat dog food. So I did live today, don't have to eat dog food today. Sorry about the dog. So today I wanted to talk about the first habit. I know I've gone over kind of an overview of all 7 of the habits and a little bit of my story, and I've got some other content planned for the following days to share more about how I learned about. Back then they called it ADD, now it's just called ADHD. For mine it's probably inattentive, or I'm somewhere in between inattentive and combined type. And then my story of how I became a coach. So you can check out those previous days. And but today I wanted to go into the first habit, which is develop a craftsman mindset. I thought back to when I first started really hearing about this idea of the passion mindset, as Cal Newport talks about it. And that the passion mindset is this idea that if we only find what our core passion is and go after that, then our life will be happy, then our life will be fulfilled. In the 1970s, there was a book called What Color Is Your Parachute that really emphasized this idea, and then there have been a whole bunch of other books that have come along that all talk about like finding your passion, or your Japanese they call it the ikage. And now I'm wondering ikagi. I'll find out. If you know the correct pronunciation, please feel free to correct me. So the passion mindset is this idea that we have these passions built into us, and we just have to find them, and then that's how we'll have a fulfilling career. And it makes sense why we think that. Like, so many people have talked about it. Like Steve Jobs has talked about it in his commencement speech in, I think it was 2006 at Stanford, maybe 2006, 2007, where it was all about like find your passion and live your passion. Well, he's obviously a great role model to look up to, but when you dive into his life, he was first a monk and was going after Zen Buddhism, and he did a couple other things. But like, if we really followed Steve Jobs' advice, or if he followed his own advice, he probably would be a monk in New York, and not who he was now that he's deceased. This great CEO of this tech company. Like, technology wasn't his passion. It became his passion. And so that's the topic of a book called So Good They Can't Ignore You by Cal Newport. And this idea that the passion... Guys, stop. Please stop. Anyways, one day, hey, I'll have to put them on camera so you guys can meet them sometime. But the passion mindset. Oh shoot! Now where was I? Blah blah blah. Cal Newport. So good they can't ignore you. And this book is about this idea that you don't just find your passion, that really there's something else involved. So he profiled quite a few people, like a grass guitar player. I can't think of some of the others, but where they really like worked hard on something, and over time, instead of finding their passion by working hard and just developing the skill and becoming really good at this skill, their passion followed. And then because they were good at it, they enjoyed doing it after this period of working hard at it. And then the passion follows, where like, oh yeah, like it's almost a self-reinforcing loop of like, I got a little bit better at it and now I feel good about it. And then like, oh, I'm getting better. And now I'm world class at that. So the reason why this is the first habit is because all of the successive ones are going to depend on your ability and on it's really not even your ability, it's your willingness to say, I'm going to try hard things, and I'm going to do something that feels difficult, that feels out of my shell, out of my comfort zone, and do it until I just get past this point of being awkward at it or not being good at it, and just start to get good. I'm thinking of this 4-quadrant thing of like, oh, I just realized you can't hear me on Instagram. I need to plug this in. Hello, Instagram. You probably couldn't hear me, and now you can. Learning all along. I'm debating I'm just going to keep going. So we're talking today about the first habit and the Craftsman Mindset. I have gotten more sleep today than I've gotten in the past, so that's nice, but my wife is still asleep in the other room, and my baby's asleep over here. So yeah, if this goes off, you can hear the white noise. Then I will have to stop this also. So the Craftsman Mindset. And so it's this first habit because it is a life philosophy to dive in and to really work hard at something. And I think that's especially hard for people like me that have ADHD, and you, if you have it, or if you join this program. We can so often get into this trap of chasing dopamine and of going after this next thing, and especially like when a new idea pops into my head, like when I started doing the drone business. I had a Falcon Flight Photography, which is a drone video business, and it sounded like so much fun. And then I got into it, and the reality of having to drive places and of having to do video editing, but then not having built that business before, it was really difficult. And I realized that there were components of that did not fit my lifestyle. Whereas if I had taken a little bit of time to think through like what would work, do I want to actually be doing this? Is that something that I can see myself doing over a longer period of time? The answer, like the video stuff, I love doing. But the answer is no. And I can see kind of this pattern in my life where I've jumped often to different things just because of, it was a dopamine hit to jump into something new. And instead, I'm wanting to really pull out of myself what are this core thing that I'm about, that I would want to do in any job that I can just keep developing. And looking back at my past jobs and looking at some of what really drives me, and not just a passion, but like something that I want to get good at, that I believe in. And so one of those things is I was hiking with my buddy Mike recently, and he was asking me like, well, what do you think your core thing is? Not just your core passion, but like what do you want to be going after in your craftsman mindset? And I think it's I said to him that it was like learning and development, that I love like teaching other people and seeing that inspiration moment turn on in their lives. And there's an even deeper core of that, which is just effective communication. I love effective communication and helping people to have that inspiration moment. And I think that's what I was doing with the internship. I think coaching plays a strong role in that. Like, it's absolutely like finding the right questions to ask people and then listening deeply and intently to them. So that's a part of the Craftsman mindset that I'm wanting to develop, and that, looking at my career so far, I have spent quite a few hours, like hundreds, I don't want to say thousands of hours, but hundreds of hours, like getting really good at crafting emails, getting really good at writing. I tried to write a book back in 2017 and I got like 10 chapters in, but it's not any good yet. But that's because it takes, years to get really good at writing. And that's something that I have been doing recently. And one of my client jobs is writing email sequences and spending, hours and hours on a few sentences across a 5 email campaign. It's taken me at times like 2 days or 16 hours worth of hard work to write 5 emails, and some of those are a few sentences because it's I'm tweaking and constantly changing and really finding like what is the core, the essence of what I'm trying to say, and saying that well. So that's part of who I am, and I've tried to do that. When I was a TEDx, I applied to do TEDx, and then I didn't make it, but I wrote out my speech and I practiced it over and over again. And I think that the reason why this is a core to who I am is because of my ADHD, and I had all these ideas and I struggled to always put things into words. And I was so frustrated, and just, I had this wish and strong desire to be able to like say what was going on in my head. And I felt trapped almost in my own brain, unable to like explain things. I remember as a kid, like seeing a dust swirling around in the wind. And I told my parents, look, there's a dirt demon. And they were like, what? We don't understand what you're saying. It's a dirt demon, And finally, they were like, are you trying to say a dust devil? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, because I just couldn't remember the right words to say. And so, that goes back to when I was 6 and 7 years old. And so that same theme is kind of winding through my story into today, of like finding the right words to say. And there's just this joy that I have in saying it the right way, or like communicating exactly what I meant. But that comes out of lots of pain and challenges. So it's not like I had this like, oh, I'm passionate about words and I'm passionate about communication. Like, if someone had surveyed me on that, I wouldn't have said that. And yet, looking at my career history, like, that has been a theme. And now in coaching, that's, very much embedded into what I'm doing, is to like sit, listen deeply, and then to ask just the right question and just pull out exactly the right thing. So that way I can help empower somebody to find their direction, or to, all of the things. So, this habit of develop a craftsman mindset is necessary in order to really accomplish all of the other things that we would do. And part of that craftsman mindset that I'm going to be, sorry, there's a hair that distracted me there, that I would encourage people that go through this program will be, this self-development, or this, I am going to work on myself and get better at this thing because it's worth it. So that's the first habit, is develop a craftsman mindset. I'll be going more into it when I actually have people go through the course. So I'll be creating more videos, and every day, daily, I'll be sharing a video. So like the first day is an intro. The second day are some examples of it. And then every Thursday is going to be like a discussion. But of course, people could talk and ask questions at any point during this, but then on Thursdays it's going to be more like hands-on, and that's a day I'll have childcare worked out, and I'll be like basically live on Thursdays to be able to like answer questions like almost real time. And then Friday is kind of a recap of all of it, and then the next week we go into the next habit. So right now it's an 8-week course. I could see this this Focus Habits group coaching program turning into more, especially like if we find that we go into one of these habits and it takes longer to really suss out everything, then I might make that habit a 3 or 4 week program in itself, and so then that would extend the time. But right now it's just 8 weeks. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share today. But I do have my 2 asks of you. So the first ask is, if you know someone that this content that I'm sharing, my story about ADHD, of finding my focus and flow and helping other people to tap into their full potential of their neurodivergent brain, if that's resonating with you, that you know somebody like that could benefit, please tag them below, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, or on YouTube. And then the second request is, if you have ADHD, if you struggle to find your focus and flow, I'd love to meet you online. I'd love to connect with you, and I'd love for you to sign up for the wait list to hear more about this program as soon as I'm ready to launch it, because I wish that I had had someone like me to be able to tell me, hey, this is okay, this is normal. Hey, here's how to overcome your time blindness. Hey, rejection sensitivity dysphoria, yeah, that is a thing with ADHD, and here's how I've overcome it. And I still struggle with it. It's not like I'm better, but like these habits are like tools that I'm able to pull out of my belt, and when a situation happens and I realize I'm struggling, I can pull out one of these tools and apply it, and I don't struggle for as long. And I'm able to very quickly redirect and get back on track. So yeah, if that's you, sign up on the wait list, and I'll have the first comment that I'll have pinned to this video is a link to that wait list. So yeah, thanks for joining me and for watching, and can't wait to see you tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, then dog food is on my diet, and I'm not looking forward to that. So come hell or high water, I will be live streaming tomorrow, and for the next however many days, 30 days of this. Cheers. And goodbye, Facebook. You're the last.